right now, and I run a company called Heroes Group, which is a management consultancy company.
Okay, now, having looked at your website, Cees, you've got a huge amount of experience in management at board level. Could you just talk us through a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. I've had a marketing and sales background, been working as a director of a certification body, doing quite a good number of ISO certifications worldwide, and saw that there was an interest in developing HR, because I saw a lot of errors occurring in the area of HR, which interested me because I also saw it as an opportunity and jumped on that one to establish a company dealing with specifically HR and management performance related issues.
Okay, so you said that there was something not right with the way that people were being managed with the HR function. So what was the problem that you were finding? What was wrong?
Well, one of the problems there was that I observed a broad underutilizing of potential of people working in our organizations, a lot of communication errors based on poor defined processes. And I thought, well, you know what, there must be a way to do it different. So my company, Heroes Group, with a big H and a big R, for obvious reasons, looked into that matter and said, well, okay, what kind of things could we do differently? And our motto is adding a new dimension to HR. We included psychometrics and looked at processes which have a background in quality management, but can be and are applied these days to training and development of people based on Six Sigma and Lean. As a result, we represent now two organizations which we feel are superb in that area. One is Lumina Learning, who has developed a tool and a psychometric tools kit, which is called Lumina Spark for personality profiling, Lumina Leader, Lumina Sales, and some other ones in development. And that's a UK founded company. The other one is actually Learning Paths, and Learning Paths is a US-based company who over the last decade and a half has developed a methodology to shorten the process to get people to proficiency, and it shortens this by 30 to 50%, which we feel is great, putting measurability and accountability into processes.
Yes.
And on top of that, we've over the years we developed some own HR tools for job profiling and for recruitment.
Yeah. So just to go back a little bit, Cees, you started using or saw a value in using psychometric testing within organisations. Was that because people were in the wrong roles, or were they just being managed badly? What was the problem?
Well, not necessarily in the wrong roles. There was a lot of, and there is still a lot of misunderstanding when people cooperate. Because we are all driven and limited by our own filters. So we look at people through our own eyes, and we miss out on things there.
Yeah.
So learning more about people can be done on a trial and error basis, can take a lifetime, and sometimes you don't even get to the stage where you say, well, I know somebody well. And that also results in not using the people's built-in qualities and making use of their communication preference that could help us establishing a long-term relationship with them.
So when a manager is looking to improve the performance of one of their members of staff, it's very helpful for them to be able to understand the personality type and the way that that person sees things and hears things.
Absolutely.
And presumably, equally, it's very important for the manager themselves to understand their own, communication style or the way they see the world.
Yeah, absolutely, and sharing that with their staff as well, because the old saying "it takes two to tango" is very valid.
Yeah,
it's you cannot expect the whole world to change according to your needs. You need to make a step towards the other persons as well.
So, can you give me an example of either an individual or a company that you've worked with, not necessarily naming names, but a little success story?
Well, we found out that, for instance, in one company that I worked with in the Middle East, a new manager came into a group, and that was a situation where the team had been without a manager for a long time, and they actually felt that they were doing great without a manager. However, the owner felt differently. Now the new manager came in, and he encountered quite a bit of hostility from the team, and responded accordingly. Now, based on that response, people started to behave differently towards this manager. And once we've discussed with the owner the situation and said, well, let's see if this is really the case. We evaluated the personalities of the individuals in the team and that one of the manager, and it was like a revelation, because they actually saw that the manager responded in a way that was not his natural but was a result of the hostility that he encountered. So by finding out what people are like and agreeing on different ways to communicate with one another, you can avoid problems in future, which they did.
Yes.
And I wouldn't say that they were all the best of friends afterwards, but at least they were on speaking terms, and they could achieve better results for the organization as a group.
So I guess this is a classic case of self-awareness being such a great healer or enabler.
Yes, it's. I think it's a crisis fighting machine. If you look at the gems that we have in our organization and that we're not aware of, if you can bring them to the surface and say, well, you know what, let's reallocate some of the tasks and let those tasks be done by the ones that are really good at it, and learn to value the difference in individuals in an organization, you can achieve miracles.
Yes. Now, you have worked and continue to work on an international basis, Cees.
Yes.
Do you find that the same issues in relation to managing people exist across the board, across countries? And even if that is the case, do you find that different cultures deal with things in different ways?
Naturally, there are differences in cultures, and one of the differences that you see, for instance, in the Middle East and also where I am now in the region, is that our distance can be different. If I compare, for instance, how people in the Netherlands deal with their managers, although the titles are there, employees and managers are more or less treat each other as equals, which is not the case in some of the Asian countries, where what the manager says is has to be followed, even if employees know deep down inside that it wouldn't be the best decision for the organization.
Yes.
So you need to deal very carefully with that one and say, well, you know what, I cannot copy the way people communicate in the Netherlands and copy it to, for instance, Saudi Arabia or India, but at least let people on their own level try to make a step towards towards one another to improve what is going on there.
And have you noticed a big change in individuals when they learn more about themselves, when they learn more about the type of personality they are?
Absolutely. One of the things that human beings tend to do is when you read a report on yourself, you like the things that are positive, and sometimes we try to ignore or deny the things that are more negative.
Yeah.
Well, when you cross-check that with others, and you say, well, you know what, this is what it says, what do you think about it? And the other person who knows you very well says, well, actually, you do that. It can be an eye-opener.
Yes.
Because if you're not aware of things, you cannot change it.
Yes.
Now, when you're aware of things, you can still decide not to change it, but that's then a calculated risk you're taking.
Yes. And when we met one another in Slovenia recently, Cees, I think you said to me that you thought that training doesn't work. I'm sure you used that phrase.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the way traditional training is set up in organizations often doesn't work because we try to push in a lot of knowledge at the wrong time. Whereas, if you take somebody through an induction program and then a series of product training and then expect miracles, if the person is not using that information for the next couple of months, by the time they actually have a need for it, the retention of learning has been proven to be very low.
Yes.
So what we do with learning paths, for instance, is to look at the path to proficiency. Say, okay, how do you do it now? At what stage do we need to train what? And also formalize the informal parts of training, because 80% of development of people is done in an informal way, meaning that it's being done on the job or by guidance from the manager.
Yes.
Now you can formalize that by defining coaching principles, by defining some other ways of teaching people some knowledge, e-learning, workshops, seminars. There's tons of way we can put into a structured process where we take care of the variability. So we're sure that people are being developed in a consistent and standard methods for their job.
Yes.
That has been started the best way for the organization, and we cut out the waste. There's always things in training that are either outdated or not really has been proven not to be really valuable anymore. So why do that? Why bother people with that information?
Yeah.
Cut it out and save time there.
Indeed. Now, just finally, Cees, you very kindly invited Sarah and myself to speak at your business platform in Slovenia recently, and it was great fun to do.
Well, it was my pleasure as well. I liked it very much.
Was there anything that you felt the audience really took away or bought from the content that we presented? Was there anything in there that you felt really did hit the mark?
That hit the mark?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, what I could see is that when you reintroduce adults to storytelling concepts and say, well, you know what, do things a bit differently and loosen up a bit, make stories and make them present things with genuine stories from the heart.
Yes.
I think it works, and I saw these little twinkles in some eyes coming up, say, well, you know what, I think I can do that, and I've heard some people already applying that with good results. So I was quite happy to introduce both you and Sarah to this platform, and hope it will do a lot of good for for our members.
No, we're delighted to do it as well. And Casey, is there maybe one thing now that you're really looking to achieve in your business? What lies ahead for you?
What lies ahead? A lot of work. You know, human resource and training and development is a broad area. A never-ending story. I think you can always continue learning and continue improving processes. What I can say is I feel very sad that I only have one lifetime to achieve those things, and I know I won't achieve what I want to achieve in a lifetime. I need some more time. If you find a way to buy me more time, I would appreciate it.
Well, we'll put the word around our network and see if there's any magic dust out there or some pills.
That would be correct. That would be correct.
Well, Cees, thank you very much for joining us and sharing some of your experiences and insights.